is a madness outside your shop, Yvonne. It don't matter who come in or who come past. Everybody is a darling. Or Bob.
I'm working in Home from Home and Tropical Spice. So Tropical Spice is a takeaway and a Caribbean takeaway, and then Home from Home's grocers, Caribbean grocers. When I tell you these spaces are like so vibrant and they're just so full and animated, and the customers, the staff, like everyone that works there is so warm, and there's this thing about like, you know, Caribbean people being naturally amazing storytellers, and I'm really seeing that. The material sort of generating process and the research has just been so incredible and also like really fulfilling, and so just to work in those spaces and to even work with, you know, the shop owners who have never done a project like this before, so to have them be so open to me sort of like there with my notebook it's been really fun. This project has really made me think about, I guess, my purpose as an artist, and I don't make work to stay in theatres, and actually you know, the whole point about me being in the shops that I'm in is that I'm really connected with the Caribbean community and wanting to sort of elevate stories that come from that.
You know, your kind of headline things are deportations, youth violence, the kind of really big, very important, serious things, and yet a lot of the thing, you know, that cross-generational thing, but a lot of things you talk about are warm, human perspectives on it, and trying to marry those together will be a brilliant thing.
Some days them good, but some, you know, people just don't have money like them used to.
My story's kind of centred around three characters, Troy, Shay and Yvonne, and I've kind of based them off conversations that I've had in both of the shops and also a bit of sort of creative licence. The idea is, how can we talk about really complex, heavy things that happen in our community? So how do we talk about deportation, how do we talk about misogyny and sort of violence, youth violence in our communities, but in a way that is still centred on like humane experiences, in a way that doesn't take away from the reality of it, but can still point to the warmth and the great assets that exist in these communities. Because I've been so immersed in these shops, and there are so many stories that have naturally just formed along the way, and I kind of wanted to talk about a lot in a very short space of time. I think condensing all of the breadth of amazing things that I've experienced over weeks into like a 10-minute performance has been but it's that awkward thing of you want to do the story's service, so kind of wrapping that in a story that people can follow and resonate with has been the challenge. But that's a good thing. It's better to have more material than none.
I met the youngest one come with me to the shop, make him learn the difference between white yam and yellow yam. I said to him, I said, Ace, why you like rolling with Nanny? Him said, because him like to help people. I said, Ace, you're good. What you want to be when you grow up? Hear him, a ninja nanny.
3 days in, and anything that I thought this project was going to be before has completely been shattered, and any sort of reservations that I had before, honestly, I've fallen in love with this whole project, this way of making, this way of like connecting with people. Right now I'm feeling good because we've just finished a really good performance, and like there are so many challenges that I wasn't prepared for, but at the same time then there's just been such a richness that you also can't prepare for, and I just want to do it again. So there's been a couple of occasions where so I talk about a traffic warden in the show, and I've sort of run to the door, and there's been a couple of times where customers have ran past me in a hurry to get to their cars thinking that it was real.
Yo, boss man! Do you see me walk in the shop? You know I was right here. Are you gonna give me a ticket? Boss, I was gonna be come on, man!
There have been times where people have thought I'm talking to myself, and they're kind of like, can we be a part of this? And but just now there was a guy who was in the shop kind of waiting to go to the barber's next door. He was like taking out his hair as he was doing it. He was like, oh, so I'm going to the barber's now, but I'll come back to see it again after. And that was just amazing, because you kind of don't know how people are going to respond to what you're doing. We're in spaces where people don't expect theatre or performance, and suddenly this thing is happening in what would ordinarily be quite a comfortable, usual sort of day-to-day for them.
Me know, so you have a heart. She would like that. And you can put it on the internet or whatever you young ones do these days.
The The amazing thing is that I developed over the time that we've been working here really strong connections with like Bev in Home From Home and the Kims in Tropical Spice, and those relationships have kind of like carried forward so that the customers then feel like they can trust us because they trust those people who are working in the shops and kind of feel like anything that they bring into those spaces is safe. But the whole making process has been incredible because even Tropical Spice itself is a completely different space to Home From Home. So in Tropical Spice, it's a restaurant people expect to sit down, kind of be there for a while, whereas Home From Home is like, it's a grocery shop, so people are in and out 5 minutes, so they thought. And I'm kind of like catching people who are in the queue, and then people are staying around for a bit longer, and that dynamic's really interesting and exciting. But I think it's genuinely about the retailers themselves and the people behind those that have been able to carry that momentum forward, because people really trust those figures in the community, and it's just allowed this like real richness of a project.
Now go and go move your car before warden come in and find your backside. Put that in your chicken shop box. Thank you.